Welcome to Dare to Game, where today's adventure takes us across the turbulent and treacherous waters of Skull and Bone, focusing on one ship that stands out for its sheer firepower and ability to dominate the high seas, the Firebrand Barge. For those of you who've always dreamed of commanding a vessel that can unleash chaos with flames and leave opponents in awe, the Firebrand Barge is your dream come true. In this guide, we're going to cover everything you need to know to get your hands on this blazing behemoth. From securing the elusive blueprint to crafting the ship and mastering its combat capabilities, we've got you covered. The journey to acquiring the Firebrand Barge is as thrilling as it is strategic. You'll need to navigate your way to Kaa Mangrove, engage with a Corrupt Compagnie Officer, and prepare to part with 4,950 silver for the blueprint. But the adventure doesn't stop there. Gathering materials like fine hemp, mopane planks, bronze ingots, and fine linen will test your resourcefulness and determination. Once you've assembled your resources and reached Buccaneer 1 infamy, it's off to the shipwright, where your vision will come to life for 2,700 silver. Crafting the Firebrand Barge is just the beginning. Outfitting it with the best weapons and learning to maximize its fiery capabilities in combat are what truly set you apart in the high seas. With Fire Bombard 3, the Fire Long Gun 3 at your disposal, you'll be a force to be reckoned with, capable of spreading the ablaze effect to nearby enemy ships and enhancing the damage of fire-based attacks. So if you're ready to embark on this fiery quest and become the most feared pirate in Skull and Bones, stay tuned. Our guide will ensure you're well equipped to command the Firebrand Barge and turn the ocean into your blazing domain. Remember, in the world of Skull and Bones, it's not just about the ship, but how you use it to outsmart and maneuver your enemies. Let's set sail on this incendiary journey together. And so, when you are starting down the path of how to get this thing, the first two things you need to consider are A, your level, so to unlock the Firebrand Barge, players must reach at least Buccaneer 1 infamy. This rank is essential for crafting the ship, indicating that players must engage in various activities within the game, such as completing contracts related to the main campaign or open world encounters to elevate their infamy level. So, this one takes a little bit more work than the last two ships that I've covered in this series because you have to get to that Buccaneer 1 level, but honestly, it's a relatively low level. If you're playing like a pirate, you're going to reach it relatively quickly. Like I said, if you're doing main story missions, you'll get it very fast because you get large infamy rewards for that, or any of the side content you'll find all around. Also, if you play like me and you like destroying ships all the time, you'll also get it very quickly. So, it doesn't take very long at all. The second thing then is going to be the blueprint. And now this blueprint is purchased in Kaa Mangrove over on the coast of Africa. So if we consider St. Anne to be our central starting point, you can see it's right there. Pretty much straight west of there is where we're headed. So that's where I am right now. You can go up and around. It might be faster, honestly, because wiggling through the river takes a while. But otherwise, if you want to just head straight west and wiggle through the river, you will come out pretty much straight in line with it. So it is right here though. So there's a little inlet here that you can find, and that is where Kaa Mangrove is located. Once you get here on the beach, you'll find the person we're looking for, who is the Corrupt Compagnie Officer, and you'll just have to go talk to him and you'll be able to buy it. And there will be various schematics here, but the one you're looking for is the barge. It says, with the right weapons equipped, the ship is able to stand toe-to-toe with multiple enemies, and that is true. Out of all of the ships I've tested and all the different build styles I've tested in this game, this one is a serious competitor for one of the highest DPS possible, and that's impressive considering you unlock it very, very early. So a lot of people sleep on the barge, but it's actually a lot better than quite a few other ships for DPS. Now, it has disadvantages, like it doesn't carry as much cargo as later ships, but if you want to deal a lot of damage, this one is really good if you build it right. So yeah, this is where you buy it, and it does cost 4,950, so almost 5,000 silver to purchase this, but that's the first step after reaching the correct rank. You need to buy the schematic, and you can do it here. Once you've purchased the schematic, you can mark the resources that you need for it by just tracking the blueprint there, and you can see that we need 8 fine hemp, 8 mopane planks, 4 cobalt ingots, and 4 fine linen, and you get all of those relatively close to here. So starting from here, you can see that we have highlighted on the map, because we tracked the blueprint, all of those resources. You can see that they're all right next to us, so there's trade routes for the fine linen, we have trade routes for the cobalt ingots, and we have a town nearby, La Colonie, where you can, if you loot the town, you can actually get your hands on a lot of this stuff. But generally speaking, most of this stuff is going to be down in the bottom half. The only one up top is going to be the hemp, because the coast of Africa is split in half. You have your resources up here are different from your resources down here. If you want to just quick high-level overview of where to loot to get this stuff, because that's typically the way I do it, it's just the most fast and efficient way to do it. If you want to get your hands on the mopane planks, the Rondeval's lumber yard is right down here. Otherwise, you can cut mopane trees all along this coast. If you want to get your hands on the fine linen, you can go to the Pilot Bay Weaver is one place to get it. Otherwise, the Lacord Weaver also does fine linen. For your cobalt ingots, the Wawuvi Foundry up in the northern part of the coast of Africa is where you're going to find it. You'll also find a lot of cobalt all along this coast of the water over here. There's a lot of it to mine. And then if you want to get your hands on the hemp, you can, again, harvest that all over the place along the eastern coast here. Otherwise, the Harufu Weaver is the one you're going to want to loot. So that's how you get your hands on all of these resources. Like I said, typically speaking, for anything, any ships, when you buy the schematic, all of the resources that you need to make it are going to be located close by. Once you get your 8 hemp, your 8 mopane planks, your 4 cobalt ingots, and your 4 fine linen units, then you're going to be able to craft, and so you're going to want to head back to St. Anne. Once you're in St. Anne, you probably know the pattern by now at this point in the game, but you need to go to your shipbuilder, so just down the plank and to the left, you'll find it right over here under the shipbuilder's sign. Talk to him, craft new items, and it'll be the 4th one here, the Firebrand class barge. And so for this one, you can see it says DPS, specializes in dealing damage and status effects. The DPS favors an aggressive playstyle. It has the wildfire perk, which is the important part about how we make this build work, so it's all based on fire damage. Yeah, and so this one is going to be a very aggressive DPS fire damage build, and so you want to equip it similarly. So it's going to be 2 parts. We need the right weapons and the right furniture. So we'll start with weapons. And so you have your port and starboard weapons, or your broadside weapons, should be long guns, and you can do, if you have the Fire Long Gun 3 schematic unlocked, and you can do that, obviously do that, because it's going to give you the best damage. It's just going to be the best option there. If not, then the Fire Long Gun 2 is the next best one. That's what I have equipped to it. The reason I like using the long guns for the broadside weapons is twofold. One, they are very long range and very accurate, so they're great for sniping and keeping that ablaze effect going for a nice long time, and you want to keep that effect active. The other one being, I like having the cannons on the side because they're just more versatile. So if I had a fire effect culverin cannon, I would use that, but the fire long gun is the best one we can do to get that high fire damage. That's very accurate, very long range. So like I said, if you've got the fire cannon 3, the fire long gun 3, definitely use that. Otherwise, I've got the 2s equipped, and they're very, very effective. For our fore and aft weapons, or the front and back, you want a bombard on one, and so the fire bombard is the obvious option. Again, I have the fire 2 equipped because I don't have the schematic for the 3rd one, but the fire bombard 3, if you have that schematic, that's obviously going to be your best bet. But like I said, this could be front or back. It depends on your playstyle. For me, I like having the bombard on the front because with this build, I use the bombard more than anything else. So that's my fore weapon. For my aft weapon, I'm using a Zamzana demi-cannon, so this one also deals fire damage. Now, I don't have the Zamzama 3 unlocked, but I do have the Zamzama 2 unlocked, so that's what I have as my aft weapon that I have on the back of my ship. So there's 2 different ways to go. I use the Bombard as my primary weapon because I like using it at various ranges, and I keep my enemies a little bit farther away from me. If you're ramming enemies and then shooting them, then it makes sense to use the demi-cannon on the front because it's a very short-range weapon. For me, I use it when I get up close and I need to get away, so I turn around to flee, and I use that to build some space. I shoot them point blank from behind. Remember, this is basically a shotgun, so it deals a lot of damage with a lot of projectiles, but only up close. So that's your loadout. We've got those long guns on the port and starboard sides. I've got my bombard on the front, and I've got my Zamzama demi-cannon on the aft. Then for our furniture, we're going to start with our major furniture, and the one that I like to go with. Now, there's lots of ways you could go, but the one I like for this one is the munitions mixer. It says, "Careful with that mix, you bastards. I'm not having my other brow seared off. It increases the duration of flooded and ablaze effects applied to enemy ships by 100%, but reduces damage dealt from these effects by 30%. So a lot of the stuff we're doing to the ship is increasing that damage. I like keeping the ablaze effect active because of the damage that everyone being ablaze does and how much less effective it makes the enemy. So I like that. That's why I go with this one. Then our other 2 effects are going to be, and you have lots of options that work with this build, but in my opinion, especially if you're using your Bombard as much as I do, I like Bombard Works 1, which increases elemental damage multiplier of the Bombard by 19%. So that's another one I use. And then the other one is the Bombard Powder House 1. So increases area of effect radius of Bombard by 10%. So all of this just makes your Bombard so much more effective and your ablaze effect so much more effective, which is exactly what we're going for with this build. As you probably saw in the footage that I've already shown and the footage that I will show of my combat with this build, it is very effective. Section 4, Stat Overview for the Firebrand Barge. In the world of Skull and Bones, the Firebrand Barge emerges not just as a ship, but as a beacon of destruction on the high seas, distinguished by its specialized design for fire and burning damage. At the heart of its prowess is the set of stats that make it both a formidable adversary and a prized possession for any pirate. Starting with its DPS, the Firebrand stands as a base level 3 ship. This classification underscores its balanced approach between offensive capabilities and durability, making it a versatile choice for engaging in fiery naval battles. Its cargo capacity is a generous 30,000, offering ample space for loot, supplies, and perhaps more importantly, the materials needed for its fiery arsenal. When it comes to speed, the Firebrand Barge cuts through the water at 9 knots, with a trimming speed that can reach up to 12 knots. This agility allows it to swiftly position itself in combat, whether closing in for an attack or navigating the treacherous seas to evade adversaries. The hull's health stands at 27,000, paired with a brace strength of 5,400, providing the ship with a resilience needed to withstand the onslaught of enemy fire while engaging in close quarters combat. With a stamina of 100, it can sustain prolonged engagements and maneuvers, ensuring it remains a persistent threat on the battlefield. Moreover, the Firebrand Barge is equipped with 3 furniture slots, offering customization options to enhance its combat effectiveness or utility according to the captain's strategy. Its loadout potential is strategically divided amongst the bow, broadsides, and stern, allowing for a tailored armament setup that maximizes its fiery combat style. Equipped with the Fire Bombard 3 and Fire Long Gun 3 across its weapon slots, the Firebrand Barge is a testament to the devastating impact of fire in naval warfare. These weapons not only inflict significant damage, but also apply the ablaze effect, disrupting enemy tactics and spreading chaos amongst their ranks. In essence, the Firebrand Barge is more than just a ship, it's a statement of power and fearlessness, a vessel that embodies the fiery spirit of its captain. With its impressive stats and specialized focus on fire damage, it stands ready to set the high seas ablaze, making it a coveted asset for any pirate seeking to carve their legend across the oceans of skull and bones. In any case, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful in some way. I quite like the barge, and I think that if you maximize the effectiveness of its fire damage aspects, it is well suited to being one of the best DPS ships in the game, at least at the time of making this video. But thanks for watching and have a nice day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.